Hi everyone, it's Kristen from PinkToesandPowerTools.com, and today I would like to talk with you about how to make accurate cuts with a saw. I think that what messes up a lot of people when they go to make cuts on their project is that they know that they need, like, say, 3 12-inch cuts. So they take their board and they take their measuring tape and they mark one line at 12 inches, one line at 24 inches, and one line at 36 inches. And then they go to make their first cut and they get a 12-inch board. But when they made that cut, the blade from the saw eats away a little bit of the wood. So their next cut is going to be 12 inches, but minus the amount of wood that the blade cut away. So today I want to show you how to avoid that, and I'm going to show you exactly what I mean when the blade eats away a little bit of the wood. It's called the kerf. So let's do it. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to actually cut the board. You always want to start with a fresh edge, either because you want to make sure it's squared up, or because sometimes when you bring something home from the store, this edge just isn't as nice as the freshly cut blade can make it. So check that you don't have any obstructions over here. Sometimes they'll put a staple in, like a 1x2 at the store for the scanner code. So you want to take that out first so you don't hit it with your blade. And then you're going to give yourself a nice fresh edge. I'm just going to shave off just a little bit off the end. Okay, so now you got a nice square edge to start with. So let's say that we want a 4-inch length off of this board. I'm going to take my measuring tape. Make sure it's not like this. Make sure it's straight across. Make a small mark at the 4-inch. And then you're going to take your speed square and you're going to make a line right at that mark. Okay, so now I've got my line. Now what I do, if I'm not sitting here right in front of the saw, I say I've got the board in at my project and I need it, and I've held it up to the actual project and I know I need this length of board. Since I'm inside, I mark it, make my line with my speed square, and then on the waist side, I make a mark, and this is my signal when I get out to the saw, that this is the side I need to make the cut on, and that this is the side I need to have the whole length of. So when I see this, when I get out to the saw, I know I need to line up the left side of the blade right up to the right side of that line. That's what I'm going to do. Make sure your hand's off the trigger. And now I've got the left side of the blade lined up right on the right hand side of that line. Okay, now you see how nice it got right on that line. So we have a perfect cut, and I didn't cut all the way through on purpose so that I could show you how much of the blade, how much of the wood the blade eats away. Now this blade is 1/8 of an inch thick, or wide, so that's how much of the next cut would be missing if I had marked 4 inches and then done 4 more inches with my tape measure. Once I made this cut, 1/8 of an inch of that next 4 inches would be eaten away by the saw blade. So what you need to do to get accurate cuts is you need to make one mark, cut it, and then take your measuring tape and mark the new length from your fresh edge, which this would be cut all the way through if I had done it. So that's what you need to make accurate cuts with any saw.